going on, everybody? My name is Stefan Coons, and I'm the CEO of Pursuit Health and Performance. This is the Pursuit Health and Performance podcast, and I'm here with Coach Mike. What's up, dude?
What's going on? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. So if you guys don't know, this is Coach Mike. He's our head in-person trainer in Gilbert, Arizona. But all my trainers are hybrid trainers, so he does coach online too. And he actually helped me build the wall. Build it. I'm not cutting that out, by the way. Plastic, right? No, but he helped me build this wall in this podcast studio. And something really cool about this setup specifically is I know it doesn't look like this is not a huge office, but I eventually want to get a lot more guests on here. So we're going to be formulating the podcast studio to kind of bring some special guests on. We already have a lot of people that are very interested, but that's not what we're going to be chatting about today. Today, we're going to be chatting about habits. Before I get into this though, huge favor to ask, if you guys can go and like and subscribe to this podcast, if you're listening to it on Apple Podcast or Spotify, I would really appreciate it. If you are watching it on YouTube, please subscribe. And if you're watching it on social media, like, comment, and share, because this information is for you guys. Honestly, it's meant to provide value in anybody that you feel like could really use this, tagging them in it or sharing it on their story or their page. However you get the information to them, that's my ask for you guys. But we're going to dive into the episode. So today, and I'm going to be moving this all around because we need to get a new table so our mics aren't like rubbing into each other. Not to be weird, but they're kind of like, I'm going to make it happen though. But guys, I want to talk to you guys today about creating sustainable habits and not worrying about the small picture before you have the big picture down. And what I mean by that is if you've been on social media anytime in the last, 5-10 years, you see a lot of arguing, right? This method's the best, this thing's the best. And what I see by a lot of people is what I would consider paralysis by analysis, or they just overanalyze. And what I mean by that specifically is you guys need to start doing something. I don't care what it is. I don't care. Like something with your fitness. I don't care if it's yoga. I don't care if it's running. I don't care if it's cycling. I don't care if it's powerlifting. You need to do something consistent for like an extended period of time before you can sit there and worry about the nuances, right? Because what I'm seeing right now, and a lot of questions you guys ask me, because I talk to you all day in the DMs and on Facebook and on Instagram and in person too, is like, well, I heard that you shouldn't have this type of dairy. Okay. That's a great question, but like, you're not even hitting your macros, right? We need to step back and we need to say like, what are your ultimate goals? Okay. And these are people that are like, I want to lose weight. And now they think, and I don't know where they heard the information from or like what specifically, like why they thought of it. But I think the question came from like somebody saying, oh, this type of dairy makes you fat. And I'm like, dude, that's the last thing you should worry about. Like you need to hit your exercise. You need to be in a caloric deficit. You need your macros to be right. You need to hit your protein. You need to hit your macros consistently. Then you can worry about what your macros are made of. Like then we can have that conversation, because your specific type of dairy or eating past 7 p.m., it's not at a 7-11 p.m. Your body's like, it's 11 minutes past 7. We're going to start converting to fat.
Everything's going to be fat.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And so you guys need to really like look at the big picture of what you're doing. And then you have the right, and I mean that in the nicest way possible, you have the right to start nitpicking. Like for me and Mike, we've been training basically our entire lives. Even for me, I don't get that nitpicky because I know that it's going to drive me freaking mentally crazy. And I see it. I see people, they're not even achieving the physique they want. They don't have the body they want. They don't have the performance they want. And they're still worried about these little dumb things that are mentally holding them back from making better progress.
Yeah. Like you said, Louis Simmons has a good quote. It says, a pyramid is only as tall as its base is wide. So you can care about all these little things at the top. Like, oh, should I be pressing behind my neck? Should I be doing all this stuff? I'm like, listen, you can't even do your own body. Like you can't even do 20 push-ups. You shouldn't be arguing about this stuff yet. Get your foundation down, then worry about all these little details. Or my buddy told me one time, he's like, yeah, man, I see you made that steak cooked in tinfoil. He's like, the aluminum leaches into your steak or whatever. I'm like, dude, you don't even you eat candy and stuff all day. I'm like, maybe if you ate, like, if you focus on getting your major source of protein and your balanced diet or whatever you're into, then you could worry about what you cook it with. Like, oh, sous vide leaks plastic. I'm like, dude, you're killing yourself in every other method. Like, why don't you,
Yeah,
you
dude,
know,
that is actually the funniest thing to me too, with nutritionally. And this is just because we've been in the industry a long time. And trust me, I will say, like, plastic is not great for you. There's a lot of estrogens in there, and it's not a fantastic thing. But those same people are like getting super drunk every weekend. Like, you know
yeah,
what I mean? Like, come on, man. You can't do that. Or literally used to work with people in the military that would smoke cigarettes, dip and drink heavily on the weekend, and then would be like, you know
vegan.
that protein, yeah, or like vegan, or like, do you know that protein powder is bad for you? And I'm like, I'm gonna hit
Okay.
you. I'm gonna like, and you really need to look at the big picture. And there are people that are very meticulous and very particular about their stuff. And I'm not here to like shit on you or tell you like, what you're doing is wrong. But I will tell you that it's probably making you way further away from your goal than you want to be.
Yep.
I'm just being honest. Like, you need the structure. It's like people that ask me, well, and I'm going to get into the nutrition portion because I think this really plays into that, because most of you guys, I think, struggle with nutrition more than you do exercise, right? When it comes to like weight loss or even building the muscle you want. So nutritionally, I see a lot of people that struggle with hitting their macros. And if you guys don't know what that is, your macros are your macronutrients. It's basically if somebody says, hey, you have 2,000 calories, that's comprised of proteins, carbs, and fats, which are your macronutrients that make up your calories. So a little lesson if you didn't know that. So your macros are really important because you have to be in an energy balance to change your body composition. So burning fat, building muscle, maintaining, like, there has to be some energy balance. You're at a deficit, you're at a surplus, you're at maintenance. Like, those are really only 3 areas you can be. And there's some people that are so concerned of where those foods are coming from, um, when really they should be concerned about the amount. Now, both matter, okay? Because if you ate 200 carbs, I would say, where do those come from? Because they could come from just literally like Snickers bars, right? Or they could come from sweet potatoes. There's a difference, both glycemic index, both glycemic load, which a lot of trainers don't talk about, and just like how your body processes and how your body feels. You ain't gonna feel good eating 200 grams of sugar and corn syrup and stuff on Snickers. I'm just telling you, you're not. Sweet potatoes, you probably feel great. So there's a difference. Like, it's not just that macros matter, but that should be your first thing. And some people are like, oh, I didn't hit this specific thing that I was supposed to eat. And I'm like, well, if you struggle with hitting 200 grams of carbs a day, and I tell you, you can get them from anywhere you want, anywhere. If you can't even do that, what makes you think you're going to be able to like hold off on all these specific things nutritionally? Like, I know you deal with that being more of a carnivore style diet, right? Like, people wanting really specific things to
Yeah,
eat.
and they always ask permission too. Like, can I eat this? I'm like, you can eat whatever you want. I'm not. There's no rules to it. You know what I mean? Like, I heard you can't have fruit when you're on the carnivore. I'm like, do whatever you want. If you want to eat fruit, go for it. If you don't want to eat fruit, that's fine. You like liver, or you can stomach it. By all means, go for it. But yeah, there's just so much dogma attached to everything. These rules and this black and white mindset when it's way more complicated than that. We're all different. I could have a twin brother and we could be on the same diet and we would have different results, or vice versa. So it's people just need to do less. They think way too much or not enough at all.
Yeah, for sure. And like, he said it great, is like everybody's very like dogmatic, right? They're like, it has to be this way, black or white. Well, something that we do as coaches that I know is it will never go away. There will always be a need of it, is individualism. Um, which means, and I literally just had 3 calls today, and on every call, it's basically I have these calls where I'm like, hey, just I want to get to know you. I want to see if the program's good for you. And on these calls, I usually ask the individual like what they like or like what their goals are, what's like important to them. And something that to me that I try to iterate and get the message across is like, I want to let you know that no coach, not even the best ones, are going to be able to meet you for 1 hour and give you a perfect program. It's not going to happen. Do you know why? Because even with all our experience training thousands of clients, training for 10, 15 years, I don't know what your results are going to be. I
Mm-hmm.
can give you a really good guesstimate. I can try to use some science behind it, but until I get both quantitative and qualitative data feedback, right? So numbers and you telling me, I like this, my body feels good, right? Plus some results, I'm losing weight. I'm not losing weight, which would be from numbers, right? Or a progress photo is more quantitative or qualitative than quantitative, but like I kind of think it's a little bit in the middle because there's body fat reducing and stuff. Until we have a little bit of that, then we can start actually tweaking it until it becomes the best program. Then you know what works for you nutritionally. And it doesn't mean it's going to be forever, but you guys probably need to caution yourself from people that are like, you need to do this. Because I get that question a lot. Should I do like, or what should I do? Keto or paleo?
It depends.
Yeah. Or
everything is maybe.
yeah. And honestly, if you really wanted to sit here and you guys asked us like a live Q&A, which I know we'll do sooner than later, I could literally start everything with it depends. And Mike said it perfectly. Like, it depends. It does. It depends on the individual. It depends. And that's why coaching is way more complicated than you guys probably think.
Yes and no.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's easier for us mentally as humans to put things in boxes. It is like we couldn't function on a day-to-day life unless we had absolutes, or at least temporary absolutes. We thought we have to put things in boxes to compartmentalize and move on through life.
Will this tiger rip my face off? You can't just say, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
You gotta be binary sometimes. Like, yeah, I think this tiger's gonna kill me.
Right. And so, yeah, exactly. We have to do that. And so inherently people might say, like, is pizza good for you? Somebody like, no, that's a bad food. Okay. Well, the reason that they say that is because it's not uneducated. It's like, I know to stay away from that because it's high in calories. It doesn't provide a lot of nutritional. And that's why people like deem these things, because it's easier for us to function. If we had to sit there on everything and be like, I don't know, like it could, but it couldn't. Like, do we be the most inefficient people? Like you make split second decisions. I guess split second decisions all the time, every single day. And that's how we function. But when it comes to nutrition and training, you guys really have to do a little bit of testing. And that does come from like getting the block. So don't worry. I'm not going to have you leave here with like just a bunch of theoretical jargon. I'm going to give you some actionable steps. So number one, you need to find a exercise program that fits your lifestyle and your goals and your physical capabilities. And you'll hear me say that a lot. And this is why I actually am telling you exercise before nutrition. The reason is if you start eating great tomorrow, you're going to actually have like very little instantaneous benefit. And what I mean is mental. A lot of you guys work out, or I know I work out and Mike does, for a lot of mental benefits. Productivity, your mental clarity, endorphins, you're happy, you feel competent, you got a win in the day, you feel like you accomplished something. I mean, your day could be really shitty, but if you're like, I'm going to go work out and you work out, your day will be better at least for the next 2 hours. Like, you're going to
never regret it.
Yeah. You'll feel better. You're going to be happier. You could be ultra depressed, make yourself work out and tell me if you feel at least 10% better after. Guarantee you it's gonna be way more than that. But like, it's the best natural medication. That's why I'm telling you guys to figure out your exercise first. Doesn't have to be a ton, but like movement makes us feel good. Even if it's not crazy hard intensity, you could do yoga, you could do something calming. You want to know what makes you feel terrible? No movement. Like, I'm serious. Like sitting all day, you just feel like depressed and like tight and just gross. Trust me, I sit a lot at a desk right there, and I'm just, after like a couple hours, I'm just like, get me out of this desk. And even if I wasn't a pretty active individual, like I worked out today, I ran and did mobility and stuff, and I still, after sitting for a couple hours, like I don't feel good. So exercise is number one. What that's going to look like and what that should look like for most of you watching this is a mix between strength training, cardio, and mobility. Try not to leave out any stone unturned. And if you have no idea, if you're like, I don't even know where to start, but I want to, you guys, you can go to our website and a link right here. Book a free call with a coach, and we'll find out. Either one of us will get on the call with you. We'll kind of figure out like what it means for you, because it is different for everybody. And that's why we don't give out cookie cutter programs. That's why we do build them custom. And yeah, there's some things like Mike and I might be on a program that's super, super similar, but after 30 days or 2 weeks of feedback, we're going to have some things that change in our program. Yep. Volume, days, how long it's going to be. He knows because he programmed me, and I'm like, hey, we got to switch this, or hey, I pulled my hamstring, or hey, so it's a adapting program. And if it doesn't, you'll quit 100% every single time, because in a year period, things are bound to happen. You're going to hurt your toe. You might have family that pass away. You might have, things, right? Just life. And so if your program's only meant for one good period of your life, like, hey, this month I have nothing going on, and you expect to carry that the rest of the 11 months of the year, as soon as it doesn't fit, you're like, I can't do this anymore. And you just stop. Okay. Which creates inconsistency. So that's your first thing. You need to figure out an exercise program that's gonna fit all those things, and then obviously your physical capability. If it's destroying you, if you say, "Well, my thing is I'm gonna go to CrossFit," okay, but if you've been doing nothing and you're going to CrossFit, I don't suggest it. I know he's not a big fan of it. Um,
Well, so there's a time and a place for everything. I have been doing a lot of CrossFit, not like snatches and all that stuff, but something that someone would call CrossFit, like Metcons and all that stuff. But I'm training for a TV show that requires cardio and body weight stuff. So I'm doing more circuit based stuff. That way my endurance is through the roof. If you've never worked out a day in your life, you don't want to go to a CrossFit gym on your first day, you know. But well, there's some good CrossFit gyms. Some of them space it out. They go, hey, this is the crazy hard workout. Do this if you're advanced. And hello, Teresa, who's 56 years old, never lifted a dumbbell in her life. You're gonna go to the beginners class.
yeah,
That I'm all about. But you know,
yeah,
it's a sport at the end of the day, and
yeah,
you can't just do baseball as your activity for your physical activity. You have to train your body. You can't just be output driven
right,
all the time.
right. And like, yeah, I have nothing against it too. It's a really hard sport. It's a great, like, some of those people are in the best shape.
Yep.
I mean, most people that go to a CrossFit gym will destroy people that go to a regular gym any day, like in anything.
Because they're balanced.
Yeah, they're balanced and hands. I love them. Although there are some downfalls, I think, and some of them are in way better shape than me, so I can't really tell them. You know, I'm not even gonna get that's a for. We'll do that on another episode. We'll get into like the downfalls of like the CrossFit and the group fitness. But if you're like, well, I'm just gonna go do this. Okay. The problem though is for a lot of those things is there's some benefits, but the problem I think is it's not for you. Like I know because I taught group fitness and there were several people that went in the class and felt very just like they just got thrown in it. And it wasn't, they couldn't keep up with it and it lacked a lot of stuff. It was like great high intensity, great for cardio, but like no strength, no mobility, like one energy system basically the whole time, which was basically like glycolytic and you leave burnout. It's a lot of CNS and
if your form is shit, and then you're like, go in this class, go do this, and your knees are caving in every time. No one's gonna come up to you and be like, hey, pause, go build up your side glutes and your abductors and all this stuff. That way you can do it right. They're just like, good job. Did you almost throw up? Like, yeah, you did it.
Yeah. Or even when I worked for F45, I'd correct people's form, but then I had to go through the rest of the class, and then I turn around and their form breaks down again, and so maybe it's not the best thing for you guys. And then nutritionally, really quick, last thing is nutritionally, you guys, what I want you to do, literally, is I'll put a link, and I want you guys to go onto a free macro calculator. It's not mine. I didn't invent it. We could help you set them too, but it's going to give you your TDEE, which is your total daily energy expenditure. It's based on your age, your height, your weight, and your sex. Okay. So it's the same formula that all the other coaches use, basically.
And it's not exact.
And,
so you might have to adjust things.
Yeah. And this is, you're like, well, why would I pay you to do my nutrition? Yeah, because it's not perfect science and it changes. And unless you know what to do and when to do it, it becomes pretty challenging, and it is an art. Just like I could look up a recipe, but could I cook it like a master chef?
Right.
Hell no, right? Oh, but it tells you how to do it. Yeah.
And what if something goes wrong? What do you add?
Yeah, like it's way different, and I can tell you it's an art, and that's not me like overselling coaching. It just is. Like that's why bodybuilders have coaches, and the elite athletes have coaches. You think NFL linemen and linebackers that are like twice my size and twice as ripped, like they need a coach? No, but there's always somebody where knowledge like it supersedes it. It's not that they can't Google it. The information is out there, but it's wisdom, which is applied knowledge through experience. Okay. That's what wisdom is. So you're going to have the wisdom. If you don't, get your macros calculated, and then it will give you your calories, and then you break down your macros. Super easy. 1 gram of protein per pound of lean desired body weight. And then you can distribute your carbs and fats basically how you want. Now there is experimentation. And even you're like, oh my God, he just told me the golden secret. I hope so. The problem is, will you do it?
Yeah.
And that is usually where most people do. Like most of you guys know what healthy food is. You know how to eat healthy. I mean, you know how to eat healthy. We all know how to eat healthy. That's not the struggle. The struggle is staying accountable and learning what foods work for you. So that might mean 3 meals a day. That might mean 5 meals a day. That might mean one. So it might. You might want to do intermittent fasting. You might want to do all these different things. I don't really care because all of them are just tools and all of them create either a caloric surplus, a maintenance, or a deficit. And you can do that a million different ways. So it's really what works for you. I've heard people like he likes to eat carnivore style, makes him feel good. He's mostly animal products, mostly meat, not a big.
I eat late at night, which is
late at night.
Which is everyone says never eat late at night. You're gonna get fat. Like I walk around like 7% body fat all year round.
Right?
But I built up to that.
Yeah.
Like that's the way my body likes to work. Someone that does intermittent fasting, like my window is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Okay. If you're going to not eat from 2 p.m. on, enjoy. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I would lose my mind.
Right. And so he's found something that works for him. I kind of eat just like I like oatmeal. Okay. I'm a carb guy. I can go low carb, but I actually feel a lot more full and I'm able to get leaner and my workouts are more intensity when I do. I don't eat a ton, but like right now, I think my macros are like 85 grams of fat, 220 carbs, and like 185 grams of protein. Pretty balanced, honestly. And that's kind of what I've done all the things. Okay. But for me, that's just what I've found works right now. And I'm doing like a very small cut. And so I'm not doing these drastic things. I'm not making these huge like decisions, whether it's like cutting out carbs or no sugar or no bread, you know. And so you guys need to stop worrying about every minute detail. You need to figure out what exercise program is going to work for you. You know, you need to do it consistently. Then you could start worrying about how much volume and am I doing the specific things and you should worry about all that when you're making the program. So if you don't know, that's why you need a coach. But if you have a good program, don't worry about all you did a leg extension and you didn't do it in the exact area and you didn't hit your VMO and
bad for your knees.
Yeah, or it's like it's bad for your knees if you went too heavy. If it's like, are you having knee problems? Well, I'm not having them. And I'm like, dude, you don't even like hit, it's one of those things where you guys are getting too concerned. Like only get concerned once you have an issue. Like don't do stupid things to get yourself injured, right? But like you're worrying about things that don't even need to be worried about. Like there's people that are worried about overtraining when they're training 4 days a week. Now,
go live in the woods.
Yeah, if you're super sedentary and you go do 2-hour workouts, you actually are more likely to overtrain because your body is very untrained and then you're doing these hard workouts. But for most people, you guys are like, oh, I could be overtraining. Dude, I train 6 or 7 days a week for an hour and a half to 2 hours. I'm nowhere near overtraining. And guess what? If I didn't want my body to overtrain, I'd walk more. I would. Yeah. I'd move more throughout the day, and then it's less likely that I'll overtrain.
You're not overtrained, you're underprepared.
Yeah, basically. You said
there's no such thing as overtraining until there is.
Yeah, until you've overtrained, which we did Murph, and that we might have done that the other day. Shortly, but we recovered quick because we know what to do. But anyways, guys, that's going to be a wrap on the show. I appreciate it. Just remember, stick to your foundations. Don't get caught up in all this stuff on the internet. Like if you're getting if you're getting anxiety and you're like, I don't know what to do. And there's so much stuff. And you read these arguments and these like comment strings, just stop. Literally go write down, freaking get on a call with one of us if you want. I don't care. Go to bodybuilding.com, look up do something to YouTube. YouTube. Go on our Instagram. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something for a week or two. Bring some consistency. Then start eating. Go on that calculator that I'm going to put in the show links or down below and go on there and find out what you're supposed to be eating and then actually eat it. And actually don't cheat. Actually go and eat that portion size. And if you're not making results, adjust a little bit and then go back to the drawing board. And then until you start to make results, then after you're like, oh my God, I have a workout program that fits with my schedule and my body. I'm making physical results. My nutrition plan is helping me do that. And I feel good. And I'm not having anxiety about eating a grain or a rice or a bread or too much fat or animal products or no animal, whatever you're freaking out about, or sugar or no sugar or fruit or no fruit. Once you've done that, then you can start to pick out how you're going to continue to do that, but isolating it more towards the things you want. If you don't want bread, if bread makes you feel bloated and gross, don't have bread. If fruit makes you feel terrible or something, then don't eat fruit. You do whatever you want. But it's 2022, guys. There's a bajillion nutritional options. You can take vitamins. You don't have to eat all these vegetables if you don't want to. You can. You need to find you need to find something that that works for you before you listen to all this crap about people trying to hyper confuse you, because 99% of it is sales. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, 99% of it is people trying to sell you on things and sell you on ideas. So you'll
secret.
yeah. There's a secret. There's no secret. I literally just told you how to calculate your macros. Like there's not a secret. There's expertise. There's not a secret. And you guys know that it's the hardest part is staying consistent, right? And staying motivated. If you want to know a secret, that's a secret. The secret is like, how do I stay consistent and motivated? It's being on a plan that works for you. When it's not for you,
And don't stop.
yeah, when you feel like it's not working for you, you stop. So if you could just stay consistent, you'll have a great body. You'll have a great physique. You won't have any trouble. And then once you're doing that for a long time and you kind of get bored, then you can start picking out and kind of perfecting and tweaking it, right?
Yep.
Like it's like a piece of art. You can't start like chiseling the top of it when you,
Sandpaper.
yeah, you have like with sandpaper when you haven't even started like taking out the hammer and building the base. So appreciate it, guys. I know Mike has to get out of here. We will see you next time. Guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you're on social media. Like I said, share the crap out of the video, tag people. It really, really helps us get the word out. And until next time, we'll see you later.